Hello everyone, I'm back with another Reddit Addicts episode. If you find my videos entertaining, please kindly subscribe and like them. Thanks to everyone for your suggestions and kind notes. Now, let's get started with today's exciting stories.
Me and my friends sometimes hang out with a guy we will call Mark. Now, Mark is in his 40s, happily married to a woman. They have 2 kids in their teens. I will tell this story as accurately as possible from what Mark told us. As you all know, married life can many times get boring with 9-to-5 jobs, mundane life in a small-time village. Kids are growing up, so you don't have to look after them 24/7 anymore. So you do what you can to make life interesting. You get a dog, start some hobbies, etc., etc. Or so at least Mark thought. He also thought that his happy little life would last forever. Wrong. Mark found out through the grapevine that while he was playing sports, being at work, trying to break the boring life they were having, his wife, let's call her Mandy, was attending to some hobbies of her own. Hobbies that included getting sweaty and real passionate with another man from a few towns over. At first the rumors didn't bother him, they were rumors after all. But something in Mandy's behavior started to change. No more funny time with Mark, she started to get distant, no more talking, just yelling, being annoyed, etc., etc. It went on for a few months. This struck Mark as off, and one time after we were done playing soccer, he asked us what to do. We came up with several advice, like confronting her. But Mark didn't want to ruin his marriage over some mood swings and a rumor. So he did what every sane man would do, /s. He set up cameras all through the house. And I am talking PI quality stuff here. He had cameras in the bathroom, living room, their bedroom, basically everywhere but the room of his children. He updated us on his new hobby and his setup, and things cooled off for a few weeks. After a few weeks after soccer time we went out for a few beers. Mark wasn't quite himself, so we inquired what was wrong. He told us that he, after several nights of reviving tape, found out that Mandy indeed was cheating on him. He was furious. They were married 20+ years, they were high school sweethearts with 2 boys, and she betrayed him. Now comes the revenge part. He didn't confront her right ahead. Mark formulated a plan. Living only a few towns over, he had no problem getting the guy's phone number. Now you all know those pesky advertising companies who call you to get you to buy products, right? Mark pretended to be one and called the guy with the pretense he was selling him some body cleansing pills and other shit. He knew the guy was overweight, and being quite a smooth talker, he didn't have much problem getting him hooked. He got the guy's first and last name, which he already knew, his address, SSN, job address, and some other stuff that doesn't really matter to the story. He told the guy he was in a ballot for different prizes from the company he was working for, and he would stay in touch in case the guy won anything. After that, came part 2. While Mandy was at work on a Friday, he packed all the stuff she owned, clothes, jewelry, collectibles, and other stuff into their family car. They have a VW Touran, so everything she had easily fit in. When Mandy came home from work, he told her they were going on a trip. At first she was against it, but again this smooth talking convinced her to roll over pretty quick, and she got in the van with him. Before that he took the boys to one of our friends' house. They weren't 18 yet, and he is a responsible father, and off they went. Where did they go, you ask? Remember how he called the guy Mandy was cheating with? I think you know the answer. Sadly, or very hilariously, Mandy had no clue. He took her, all of her belongings, to the guy's address and called him on the way, telling him to come outside. He said he won the first prize, and he was on his way to give it to him personally. Mandy still had no clue. She thought he was just pranking one of his friends. I believe you realized by now that she isn't the brightest one in this world. Imagine her and Guy's face when he rolled into the parking spot of Guy's house. He stepped out of the car, shook the guy's hand and told him, "Here is your prize, sir. I believe you know what it is. Took one last look at Mandy's white face, and walked off. He got custody of both kids since he was better off than her, also told the judge she was cheating and that's why he was divorcing her. This all happened last year, and as far as we know, the guy was an A-grade asshole and she left him soon after that, after a few beatings and some trips to the ER/police station. Mark got over her after some time and a lot of alcohol, but he and his boys are doing great. They were both big enough to realize their mom was at fault, and still barely talk to her when they go to visit. She tried to return into Mark's life on a few occasions, but he did the smart thing, told her to fuck right off. He told us this story after we went out for a few beers after soccer again. I was laughing so hard imagining the whole thing. I had to go to the bathroom, otherwise I would have peed myself. I hope you enjoyed this story as much as we did. TLDR, wife cheats on husband, he finds a creative way to get rid of her. Edit, it's not a SSN, we are not from USA. Since many people got hung up on it, it's a tax number and I assume he asked for it to sound more believable. Edit 2, fixed some spelling errors. A lot of people are reading a lot into every detail how I presented Mark's story. For instance, how he got all of her stuff into one car. Well, of course he couldn't, and maybe he got some movers afterwards. Just imagine the van being packed with stuff for a trip, whatever floats your boat. I said I am reading this from memory, so some things may not add up to your careful eyes. Be warned. I also wasn't at the court hearing for custody, but the kids live with him and they visit the mother every other weekend. I asked them how it is, and they said it's pretty petty between her trying to get their approval and trying to convince them she was not at fault. They are 16 and 17 years old now, so I believed them. I guess I am sorry for doing that. Lastly, this story is fake just because he got the rights to the kids? I know how things are in the USA, but as far as I know, judges here take into account everything. They rather give them to the person who is more equipped to take care of them. That includes salary, where they live, how they act in court. Get off your USA high horse, since not all governments are female-centered and corrupt.
We hope you enjoyed this story. Thanks for watching and hope to see you in the next video. And before you go, please be sure to subscribe for more.